Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. Sorry, I had to make sure we were recording. I'm Gerry. As these guys know, Terry and Max are here. Barely made this recording session by the skin of my teeth. Came off of a family camping trip, so the podcasters can't see this, but the people watching can see my hair. I'm having to conceal it in a hat because it's camping screwed up, okay? I was in a bathhouse dealing with it. Yeah, it's bad things. So, onward to the United preview. Current form, United is 6th in the table, 64 points. They're 19-7-7. Their past 5 games, they lost to Barca 3-0, and before that 1-0. In between those games, they beat West Ham 2-1, lost to Wolves 2-1, beat Watford 2-1. Okay. Possible starters. I think Shaw is banned for this one, so no Luke Shaw for this one. De Gea starting goal, we know that. Dalot, Lindelof, Smalling, Ashley Young, Fred. Just have to say Fred like Fred. There's no cool way. I just have to say it in my nerd voice. Fred. McTominay, Pogba, Lingard, Lukaku, Rashford. That's a possible lineup. Obviously, they're United. They have a lot of players. All right? They're, when Solskjaer came in, they have been playing better, and they gave him perhaps a little bit of an early contract based on the results. I think maybe I was waiting for them to see how it rode out the rest of the season, but who knows? Regardless, there were results. So, Terry, what worries you about this United team, aside from the fact that they've just been performing better all season than we have?
The fact that they lost to Barcelona in the very last game they played. The league is now, it always was important to them, but now there's no distraction. They need to, for their club, they need to qualify for the Champions League for as long as they're able to. So I think this is the worst possible time to play Man United coming off the back of a defeat like that, because they'll be hurting. They got embarrassed against Barcelona. Messi, I think he took Phil Jones' soul away from him. Yeah, we've been strong recently against the top 6 teams at home. I think this one may be a problem though. We've come down to play them when they are desperate for a result, desperate to put that last performance behind them and put it right. I don't know. I'm not confident, especially when one of our better players is now suspended as well. I think not impossible to get a result there. Not in good form overall. Ollie's at the wheel, but the wheels are coming off a little bit. So I don't know. It's a hard one to predict, but I'm not confident. I usually like to be positive and upbeat, even against the better teams. But I think this is a one given the context.
Just for those of you who have been living under a rock recently, as I have, camping. Gomez out for some evil conduct of coming down on Mitrovic, studs up on the ankle area, shin ankle area. Not unlike what Guendouzi did to Dean, not unlike what Jorginho did to Sigurdsson. We've already talked about this off camera. These guys mentioned these examples, but it's the same stuff you see. I'm not really going to mention the Salah thing on the Porto player because that's Champions League. FA can't do anything about that. But consistency from the FA would be nice. Just saying. So, now that that's done, Max, how do you see us? You know what? I'll let you just go in. I'm not going to give you a prompt question. I just want you to roll. What do you got?
First and foremost, I'd just like to say Manchester United have lost 5 of the last 7. So, and just to add on to what Terry said, this entire Ollie's at the wheel stuff, they are the biggest media whore of a football club known to
man, and
it pisses me off so much. The appointed Jose Mourinho, he's just kind of, he's a man of his own ideologies and football and philosophies, and obviously that wasn't a very good marriage. I feel like he's not a company man. He's a man. He's about his own pockets and he's about himself. Obviously, they failed to recognise that. at the time of appointing him. And now they've ultimately gone for 100% company man in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who's an advocate for the brand, because that's what Manchester United ultimately is now, isn't it? It's a brand. It's just dependent on stock market performances, and that's obviously boded well for them. At first, they've kind of altered the formation to accommodate for the more attacking players that they've got. Quick on the counter attack and really good on the turnover of play. I think it's atypical of the Premier League over the past couple of years, but Manchester United are one of these clubs that stockpile really good players, and a lot of good players go to waste. You look at Alexis Sanchez, Juan Mata, and they seem to got a rotation between like Rashford and Lukaku, who's ever on the bench, and Martial and what have you. But yeah, they are an excellent footballing side when they're playing well. And unfortunately, I'm obviously not as confident coming into this game following that performance at the Fulham game. But I don't know, because when I was doing my Fulham review, it was like I was thinking, back under Moyes, it was kind of typical of Everton. We'd lose a soft game, and then we'd turn up against the big club the next week. And I'd like that to be a signature of Marco Silva's Everton. So if we could develop that would be fantastic, and I'd love to do Manchester United over. I really would. But yeah, obviously, I've got to be 100% obvious. We're not favourites. I'm not entirely confident, but if you go back when we played them at Old Trafford, we weren't that bad.
Oh
dodgy
God,
decision pending.
Yeah, that was
penalty decision.
That was awful.
But yeah, it was. But Goodison Park. We've got the sirens at our back. We'll be sound.
Just quickly, I just want to follow you up on that. That's a brilliant point about the decision to put him in. He's very much a company man, and it's all about the brand. I honestly think that's probably, the unspoken truth of that appointment. Like, he's been appointed not as a footballing decision. No football brains have sort of looked at that and thought, well, we need to oversee a huge rebuild, and he's not got the experience and so on. He's been put in because he's brought a feel-good factor to the customers, and he's an iconic part of their brand. He's the goal scorer from the 1999, treble-winning Champions League final. He's like a token of their most successful era as a brand. He's like the polar bears for Coke, isn't he? He's been put in to try and sort of bank that goodwill with everyone, all the pundits around the world, everyone like, oh, how can you not give him the job? How can you not give him the job? The job he's done, he's been brilliant. How could you appoint someone else? And now they have, and they're starting to see what they've done. And yeah, he's not this, all-conquering manager. He's, he's had a new manager bounce, one of the best ones I've ever seen, granted, where it really did go the complete opposite direction when he came in. But now with 5 defeats in 7 games, you're starting to see, he's not a miracle worker. This team needs major surgery. And all the pundits who all, banged their desks saying he needs to be appointed have now sort of started to retreat and going, why did they do this? Well, because you told them to.
Exactly. I hopefully, fingers crossed, the likes of BT and Sky will stop inundating the social media feed with stupid fucking edits and pictures of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer driving a car and all this stupid shit. Like, it just needs to stop. And they'll probably they're carrying on to doing it with Liverpool now, obviously with their with the wind in their sails. But when both once they start going, start losing a few games, Liverpool and Manchester United, fingers crossed, my Twitter feed won't just be constantly the same all the time.
Note to everybody, stop ruining Max's Twitter feed. Just saying. I mean, no. It's hard to argue with that. So with Gomez banned, we're probably looking at Tom coming in. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Unless for some reason he goes with Schneiderlin. Max's man crush number one. But the way, honestly, I think he's had injuries recently, so I don't know if he's actually fit to play. So I'm just assuming it's going to be Tom Davies coming in, which I mean, I haven't seen him have like a full game for a while, so when he's come in recently, he hasn't played poorly. So it's just he's just not Andre Gomez.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
Yeah, true. He put in up against the midfield, and I don't know, obviously Pogba's the standout, but Fred, Scott McTominay, I think, Davies will have the legs to keep track on them. So, it shouldn't be a bad performance coming from him.
I think if Schneiderlin's fit, he will play, because when he did play recently, he did do well. To be fair, you couldn't say he doesn't deserve to start. I prefer Tom Davies to play though, because I think he's the only one who's going to be here in the summer out of the midfield options, including McCarthy as well in that. But I think if all fit, it'll be Schneiderlin A for the to follow on from the good performances he put in a few weeks ago, and B because he's more defensive on paper at least than Davies, and with their midfield options, I think they're going to be a little bit wary of the likes of Pogba and maybe Mata if he plays or someone like that. I'd love to see Tom Davies. I'd like to see him play, given the opportunity now that Gomez isn't playing. But I just think if it's all being fit, it'll be Schneiderlin.
So we need to give predictions and wrap this up. Terry, you sounded pretty pessimistic earlier. Are you going to stick by that with your prediction?
I'm going to go with a 2-1 Man United. Don't often pick a defeat, even when one's likely,
right.
But I just can't.
Max, what do you got? 2-2?
2-2.
And I've got 1-1. Yeah, so 2 draws and a loss. That's actually pretty pessimistic coming from the three of us, if I've got to be honest. I think quite often we do pick 2 wins and a draw out of the three of us. It's a pretty common thing, so that is sort of a pessimistic. But we can't really, with Gomez being suspended, Man United coming off the Barca loss, and the fact that we just played like that against Fulham, it is to be understood that we're a little on the, not exactly foreseeing, shower of goals this weekend.
Yeah, just to reiterate what I said in the preview, Fulham before that game had lost the last 9 on the bounce and kept just 2 clean sheets all season. Everton for you, eh?
Tom Kearney hadn't scored for years since his last goal against Everton.
I know.
Is that when he was playing for Hull? Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. So let's... honestly, I could see us actually being a pretty competitive game after that one. You know what I mean? Like, I actually could, but we'll see. I'm not definitely not overconfident.
Hopefully we don't.
You've got it in us at home. That siren, as Max said. As long as we've got the siren, we'll be all right.
I have to explain it to my kids every single time at the beginning. What's that? And I'm like, okay, there's this boxer, okay? And let's watch Creed, and we'll talk about it. I know you're 3 and 6, but you should still watch. All right, so that's it for our United preview. We'll see what happens. If you've been digging the videos, please subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. We'd sincerely appreciate it. If you want more Terry, Liverpool Echo fan Gerry, check out his Twitter. He'll tell you when and where he's going to be, or you can stop him in the street, give him a high five. See, I didn't even say hug. I went high five this time. Also, Max also has stuff. So check out his Twitter. He'll tell you when he's going to be on what podcast video, or when he's got a piece on the Toffee Blues website, the brand spanking new, pretty Toffee Blues website. Check out his Twitter, and if you see him on the street, he'd appreciate a firm handshake and a debate in which you never break eye contact. Okay? Trust me, it's a big thing for him. All right, so that's all we got. We're going to move on. Actually, this is the last video, so if you want to pop over to the quiz, do that, because these guys are going to be talking about a classic game from the past 7 years. So there's your clue, gentlemen. So if you know your history is on the pod. Otherwise, we'll miss you, and we'll see you later. Let's get 3 points this weekend. Bye.